what struck me when when I was listening to both your presentations is the relation between abstraction in scientific modeling, which is supposed to reveal certain features of a thing or a system or reality, and reveal certain patterns. And on the other hand, obscurity, how much abstraction actually obscured in the process of abstraction. And yeah, I was also thinking about the criteria of relevance for omission.
Maybe something I can say about that last point is that something I dislike from the debate among philosophers of science who try to figure out what idealization and abstraction and some of these strategies used in modeling practices is about, is that they assume too much that omission is something that happens at the beginning of a practice of modeling, so you already know from the beginning what to eliminate because it's not relevant enough, and then what to keep, and then you do something with that, no? So I think by turning the idea of abstraction into a very creative practice, you are also saying that you don't make that. It's true that in my presentation I kind of said that omission is a first step, right? But the point is that after you have gone through more aggregative and creative, like reorganizing parts of the practice, it might be that you realize that you omitted the wrong thing. So you, what to omit, or what is relevant, or what are the key features of a complex natural process might be the result of the practice of modeling and not the starting point of it. So in that respect, I would say that abstraction can help you also find out what is important, and it's not necessarily the starting point to get a good abstraction, I would say.
I can respond to the first point. Yes, it reveals and it obscures, and I think you could actually and should say that it reveals by obscuring, right? This is a kind of formulation of the aesthetic theory that's produced over and over by Rancière, by Shklovsky, by Brecht, of the idea of estrangement, of art as estrangement. In this case, it's a kind of an estrangement of habits of perception, I think in Kandinsky's case. The idea that we are used to walking into, we're used to walking around the world in our pragmatic, goal-oriented, object-oriented mode of being. And then when we walk into an art gallery, we tend to miss a lot of the overtones, I think is how Kandinsky would put it. His criticism, of course, it's the person who goes, oh yes, that's a very beautiful painting because it's a very beautiful person being represented in the painting, right? So you're mistaking the object for the art in a sense. By abstracting from the object, he wants to force people to pay attention to the harmonies and dissonances of color and form. And I guess the way this translates into the more scientific theory of, psycho-perceptual construction of models is that, yes, we don't hear overtones